strategic direction. His appointment is for a 3-year period ending August 2025. The ACU is the world's first and oldest international university network, established in 1913 to provide a forum for universities to share information, knowledge, and ideas. The ACU Council comprises vice-chancellors from across the Commonwealth, each of whom has been nominated and elected by their peers within the ACU membership network, and it also acts as a trustee for the association. In the Bahamas, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the Davis administration is getting closer to obtaining monkeypox vaccines. Dr. Darville says those vaccines are slated to come in a few months with the help of the Pan American Health Organization.
Dr. Darville explains there will be robust screening and training. He previously indicated health officials are working with PAHO to secure vaccines for monkeypox. As for when those vaccines will become available, Dr. Darville had this to say.
We are definitely in the community. We are presently starting consultations with those at the border, customs, immigration, some of our uniformed individuals.
In international news, the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war has crippled Ukraine's economy. At present, no one knows how many people are unemployed.
Live in here, difficult and hard. Every day some explosion.
Vladislav lost his job as a cargo sailor, and Angelina discovered she was pregnant. They just bought a new apartment. These were the first days of the war. Now they borrow for the mortgage, medicine, and doctor visits. Sometimes it's not enough. In the southern port city of Odessa and across Ukraine, the war has shut down fishing, tourism, nearly everything. Lika Beseshchova owns 3 restaurants here. 2 are closed, but she reopened the 3rd. She considers it an act of patriotism.
All of the years that we've been working were successful, so I can afford to keep my staff busy and to keep people working, and I think in a way it is patriotic, so I can afford it. I'm ready to lose here.
Sometimes it feels almost normal here, until it doesn't. Outside, there's a loud boom, a Russian strike. Then, an air raid siren.
It feels safe from here, and being here feels safe from the inside, but it is a big illusion.
But she says she won't keep it open through the winter. The few remaining tourists will all be gone. Just south of the ports in Odessa is the town of Zatoka, a resort area where people come to vacation. But they're not coming here anymore because of the perils of war. A Russian missile strike hit this residential area. Somehow no one was killed in these destroyed homes, but little is left intact. Little left, little work, and constant danger. With all Ukrainians, Vladislav and Angelina journey through a perilous present to an uncertain future.
In sports, India took the 3rd T20 International at Warner Park in St. Kitts, and now they're leading the match series 2-1.
The Windies took first strike and started off well, registering 57 for the first wicket before Brandon King departed for 20. Fellow opener Kyle Mayers led the scoring with a rapid 73 from 50 balls, supported by Rovman Powell's cameo 23. The home side finishing on 164 for 5 from their 20 overs. India lost Rohit Sharma early as he retired hurt due to a back injury. However, the visitors continued at pace, motoring to 105 before their first wicket fell. Surya Kumar Yadav top scored for India with a quick-fire 76. Akil Hussain grabbed 1 wicket for 28 runs. They eventually cruised to their 165-run target with an over to spare, winning by 7 wickets. The 4th and 5th T20 matches are scheduled for Lauderhill in Florida.
The Bible says in Psalms 100 to make a joyful noise unto the Lord. All ye lands, serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Come on, y'all, help me praise the Lord. Come on, everybody, are you ready to sing? Yes. Jesus is the way and he's my everything. Yeah. Every single moment of every day. I'm gonna trust in Jesus when I say yeah. Yeah, gonna praise the Lord. Come on and help me say. Gonna praise the Lord. Let's say it again. Oh yeah. Listen, I got a friend, Shannon. Come on, take your time and sing, girl.
There's something deep within that I gotta say.
Sing, girl, sing. Say, you are my Lord.
You are my Lord each and every day.
Woo! Come on, gonna praise Him.
Gonna praise the Lord when I'm up or down.
Yes, sir. Sing, Shannon.
Praise Him when I'm smiling or
wearing a
frown.
I'm gonna praise the Lord. Now y'all got it. Come on and help us sing this song. Say, I'm gonna praise the Lord. I'm gonna praise the Lord. Now, Shannon, I got one more verse I want you to sing. Sing, girl.
I'm gonna trust in Jesus with my life.
Woo! Talk about His love, Shannon.
His love is so amazing that it's out of sight.
Yes, sir. So many blessings.
So many blessings I have received.
You gotta sing, girl. You gotta sing. Woo! Come on, I found the Lord to be.
Found the Lord to be all that I need.
One more time. Lift your voice and sing. I'm gonna praise the Lord.
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no.
It is time for Yes with Yesse. Please welcome your host, Yesenia Leva.
Thank you kindly for that applause. Thank you kindly so much. And thank you for joining me tonight on another episode of Yes with Yesse. And look at God. Look at God in the song that was playing right before I came live. I love it. My absolute favorite song. Yeah. See? Because it's yes. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. So good evening, family. Good evening, everybody. On tonight on 89.1 FM. Thank you so much for joining. If you're on the road, you're on your way to work, or on your way home from work, thank you for keeping it locked 24/7. YouTube, good evening to you. My YouTubers, good evening. We would not be here without you guys. So click like, share, subscribe, guys. Subscribe, please, to New Season Gospel FM, so you will not miss a beat. So subscribe tonight if you have not already done so to New Season Gospel FM on YouTube. And of course, Facebook family, I love seeing you guys as you come in. I love it. Good evening to you guys from wherever you are listening and watching there on YouTube. Good evening, Sister Keisha, Sister Marcia, Sister Laurel, Brother Antoine, Sister Mina, Ms. Ali. Good evening to you, Reverend Crescent, and of course, Sister Juliet. Good evening. Take a moment and share, guys. Share. And one of the reasons, you guys already know me by now, many of you, but one of the reasons that I love when all of you guys tune in is because I firmly believe that life is about diversity. It's about the inclusion of all people from different backgrounds, from different talents, skills, abilities, and different backgrounds. If we didn't have each other, and if we were all the same, how boring would life be? And as I go down the list and I see you guys on, I have learned so much from every single one of you. And the more that we get to do life together and learn about each other and get to know each other for who we are, internally, for our soul, for our belief, for our talents, our skills, our abilities. It's been a pretty amazing ride. So I appreciate every single one of you. I love that you tune in. So make it a thing and tune in with me every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. right after the Caribbean news. All right, right after the Caribbean news. And it's all about the networking. So you never know, especially with Yesse, you never know what opportunities and what events and what things, excuse me, will pop up as we go about the show. So definitely make it a point to tune in, guys. Tune in. Differences make the world beautiful. Absolutely. Again, how boring would it be if we were all the same? How boring would it be? So thank you again so much for tuning in with me. And with that, let's get started. Of course, I have a topic for you guys, which might surprise you, might not. It surprised me. Because to be honest with you, I didn't know it was a thing. As you guys know, I am an avid advocate for individuals with disabilities, for all things disabilities, services, people in general, right? Just people, the diversity, the inclusion of all of those things, and to make sure that we can be, and that we become, and that we are the best that we can be with our skills, our talents, our abilities, and everything that God has called us to be, with everything that God has given us. So many times we don't really know that. We don't really realize all of those things that God has given us and put in our hands. And so one of my topics when I speak out there is, what's in your hands? What skills do you have? What talents do you have? What abilities do you have? What conversations do you have? What is it that you have to offer to this world that is digged inside of you? And I know for me, there has been a lot digged inside of me for a long time that is slowly coming out. It has come out a lot. But it's, there's still more in there that needs to come out for the good and the better of the people in the world, and myself definitely. So, with all that being said, and me having been born with my disability, I was one to preach, I accept my disability. I accept my differences. Did I really? We'll talk about that a little bit later. What I do know is that there is liberty. There is liberty in living life for Christ, for the Word of God, for serving others, for ministry. There is liberty in all of that, and there is liberty in uniting with one another. So, buenas noches a toda la gente latina. Estamos aquí para toda la comunidad, para todas las culturas en el sur de la Florida, porque somos muy diversos en la cultura de nosotros, ¿verdad? Aquí hay un poquito de todo. Entonces vamos a empezar en esta noche a hablar un tema un poco más tarde de qué tenemos dentro de nosotros, qué tenemos en nuestras manos para ofrecer al mundo, qué es lo que tenemos en nuestras manos para ofrecer al mundo. Así que vamos a empezar con hay libertad, porque hay libertad cuando hay aceptación y todo lo demás. Hay libertad. There is liberty. There is liberty.
Soy su hijo, porque soy su hijo. Hoy puedo danzar con libertad, porque soy amado. Porque soy amado. Yeah. Podemos sentir tu gozo, podemos sentir tu río. Hay sanidad en las aguas, queremos danzar. Podemos sentir wanna dance. We can feel your joy. We can feel your river. There is healing in the waters. Oh, we wanna dance. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns. Freedom reigns. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns. Freedom reigns. Yeah. Put those hands together. ¿Cuántos sienten libertad en esta mañana? Aleluya. Vamos a cantar en libertad. Vamos. Hay libertad en la casa. Hay libertad al danzar. Hay libertad en la casa. Hay libertad al danzar. Hay libertad en la casa de Dios. Come on. Hay libertad en la casa de Dios. Hay libertad. Hay libertad. Hay libertad en la casa de Dios. Hay libertad en la casa de Dios. Hay libertad. Hay libertad. Puedo danzar en la casa de Dios. Puedo danzar en la casa de Dios. Puedo danzar y disfrutar que somos libres. Somos libres por tu sangre. Libres soy. Somos libres. Somos libres por tu sangre. Libres soy. Libre. Put those hands together. How many of you feel freedom in this house today? For those of you that don't, freedom is here for you. Let's sing that out. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns as we dance. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns as we dance. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Come on. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns. Freedom reigns. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. Freedom reigns. Freedom reigns. I wanna dance. I wanna dance in the house of the Lord. We wanna dance in the house of the Lord. I wanna dance. I wanna dance. 'Cause there is freedom. There is freedom. There is freedom. By His blood. There is freedom. There is freedom. There is freedom. By His blood. Freedom reigns. Hallelujah.
There truly is freedom in the house of the Lord. It's freedom. I will never forget. Okay, I remember a lot of things. I remember too much sometimes. I remember everything. I will never forget when I first came to New Season, like ever, right? And it was from the very beginning. It was that sense of acceptance, that welcoming spirit. I was always welcome from the very, very, very first day. And then little by little, continued coming and working and just doing all these things. And then eventually I came to New Season Worship Center. I started coming to the ministry. And it was always that sense of freedom, of belonging. Freedom reigns in the house of the Lord. I could just be me. I could be genuinely myself with no judgment. I never felt any kind of judgment, and just praising and always felt like God loved me, like I was worthy of God's love. And that is one of the things that I think about a lot, is how many people with differences, with disabilities, even possibly, ethnic, culturally different or different backgrounds, how much at times we feel like we're not worthy, like we're not, like God doesn't love you, or like, in my personal situation, if you will, I thought I was sin for a long time, and I giggle about it now, but it was a serious thing. And so it wasn't until I started getting involved and going to music school and learning that disability was written in the Bible, that it is talked about in the Bible, and that how it's not perceived as something negative, but something positive. And that, Jesus' disciples had these different disabilities, what we now call disabilities. Of course, back then it was called different things. So that was so comforting to be like, okay, I got this. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am free. There is liberty in God's house. God accepts me because I am made in His image. I am wonderfully made in His image. And I'm so grateful that my eyes were open to that. So grateful for that. And I think it's so important. That's why community is so important. And that's why, I appreciate Pastor for teaching me that, and constantly putting these things in my face and in my mind, like, in the nicest way possible, where sometimes, a lot of times rather, I don't even realize that he does this kind of thing in teaching me a lesson. There's a lesson for everything. So I've grown and matured spiritually, personally, attitude, and so much in the fact that I now understand that there is liberty in God's house. There's liberty in that being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable in praising God wherever God has placed you, and living your purpose, living your purpose out, the purpose that God has given to you, living it out with no shame. Live out God's purpose in your life with no shame. And I still got a long way to go. I'm still not there 100%, but I'm sure glad I am not where I used to be. And there is victory in not being where I used to be, but being where I am now. And I am so excited to see where I am going.
Prosperará el arma forjada, la oscuridad no prevalecerá, porque el Dios que sirvo siempre triunfará. Mi Dios no fallará, mi Dios no fallará. Voy a ver la victoria, voy a ver lo transformas para bien. Todo lo que viene del enemigo, lo transformas para bien, lo transformas para bien. Todo lo que viene del enemigo, lo transformas para bien, lo transformas para bien. Todo lo que viene del enemigo, lo transformas para bien, lo transformas para bien. Todo lo que viene del enemigo, lo transformas para bien, lo transformas para bien. Todo lo que viene del enemigo, lo transformas para bien, lo transformas para bien. Voy a ver la victoria, voy a ver la victoria. La batalla es tuya, Señor. Voy a ver la victoria, voy a ver la victoria. La batalla es tuya, Señor. Voy a ver la victoria, voy a ver la victoria. La batalla es tuya, Señor. Voy a ver la victoria.
Voy a ver la victoria. Voy a ver la victoria. La batalla es tuya, Señor. I'm going to see a victory because the battle is the Lord's. The battle is the Lord's. And then sometimes we might think that the life that we live is the battle, right? That's how we feel. That's what we know, that the life we're living is the battle. But what we have to know is that we have to give our battle to God. Give our battle to God, whatever that is. And for some of us, my battle could be seen as my battle is what I live with. That difference and that disability that I live with every day. It's not my battle. Not for a second do I want anybody to ever think that it's my battle. It's a part of my life. It's a part of my life. It doesn't define me, but it's definitely a part of my life. And it has given me the opportunities to do the things that I do now. So I honestly wouldn't have it any other way because I don't know any other way. And so with that is, how do we, and I want to just explain to you guys in the next few minutes, how do we emotionally cope with having a disability? You know, it wasn't until I read this article that I was like, wait, this is a thing? Like, this is a thing? We can grieve having a disability? Or, you know, we have to emotionally cope with the fact that we have a disability? I didn't know it was a thing, you know, to a certain extent. Of course, we have our feelings and we feel a certain way and we go through those struggles, but to know that, you know, it is a thing to emotionally and even mentally cope with having a disability and the things that come with it is kind of comforting. Actually, it's kind of comforting. It makes you feel like, oh, okay, it's not forgotten. It is a thing. And so how do you emotionally cope with having a disability? And so again, it doesn't have to be a specific disability, an illness, a disease, you know, any first-time diagnosis. You know, how do you cope with that? Unfortunately, a book does not exist yet that tells you, okay, once you get your diagnosis, this is what you need to do. Or this is the questions that you need to ask. Or this is the people in your support system. Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It definitely should. It definitely should. And I will continue to advocate for that till the day that we have a handbook, something with resources that we can give people so that they don't feel so alone when they run into a situation or they know someone that's running into a situation where they're going to need some kind of help. So that is very important. Even if it's a phone number of somebody that provides services, an advocate, it is definitely a need in our community. And so how do we deal with something so impactful in our lives emotionally? How do we cope with it? In this case, having a disability or an illness. So I learned this a little bit later in life, a few years later, not too long ago. Organize yourself. Organize yourself properly. And so before I learned this concept of organizing yourself properly, I am not the most organized person in the world. For me, being organized means I know where it is, not necessarily anybody else. That's not being organized. So very recently, I learned that organizing myself properly is helpful to my emotional, physical, and mental health, because it's keeping your surroundings clean, your surroundings, livable, basically a livable, clean lifestyle. It's definitely what it's all about, organized, and it can really lower your stress level. Like, I know if I see a bunch of things like, all over the place, I'm like, oh my God, it's like anxiety mode, right? And sometimes I can't help it because it's not mine, so I have to cope with it. So keeping your area, friendly and clean and organized. Sometimes feeling inadequate because I can't do that. Like, let's say something in my house is broken, or, I want to do something outside that takes a lot of physical ability to do so. Sometimes I might not be able to do something like that. So it makes me feel a little bit inadequate and like, oh gosh, like I can't do this or that because I have a physical disability. So I've had to find ways to accommodate myself and to redirect my mental state of I can't do this or I can't do that, and get a little bit anxious to, okay, what can you do in this situation? What can you do? You can't mow the lawn, but pay somebody to, mow the lawn for you, or get a volunteer to do it for you. Something that simple. It is that simple to finding solutions to those things. But I think we tend to close ourselves so much in our mind as to, well, I can't do that. We have to process the fact that we can't do something in the literal sense and find ways to modify or accommodate that to a way where it is possible, and we can find a solution for that issue that's making us maybe a little bit anxious, sometimes even angry, or just, having that feeling of feeling inadequate because you can't take care of it right there and then. I don't like to ask. I don't mind asking for help. Like I that's important. I don't mind asking for help, but I don't kind of like sitting around waiting, if that makes sense. Like, if I know that something needs to be done today, like, don't make me wait 2 weeks to get it done. So that's why it's important for me to have that support and community that I can call to help, or whatever it is, especially if it has to do with a physical activity, something that's going to take physical strength to get it done. And the other thing is, when we're living with this feeling of, emotional drainage and coping in all these things, is exercise. Go to the gym, go ride bike, go find something that you can do as far as being active. I love swimming. I love boxing. I love riding bike. I love all that stuff. I love the outdoors, period. So I do that. I make it a point to do that when you have slow time, when I'm not working, whatever the case, because it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better because I'm exercising and I'm getting healthy, but it also makes me feel better because one is things that I can do that I've worked hard to accomplish, and I'm working out in a sense. I'm doing exercise, and it's good for me physically and all of that, not just to look good and lose weight, but also to improve my health, to walk better, to improve my balance. So make sure that we exercise often, and just stay active. I know for me, and I might have shared this before, the moment I'm not physically active, my body starts to feel it. And my body starts to feel it, aching and numbness, or different things. So it's not that I like to be busy, but it's healthy for me to stay physically moving around and active, for my own well-being. So it's important, guys, to be active and exercise as much as we can. So another thing, again, we're talking about how to emotionally cope with having a disability or an illness or something that makes you have to take care of yourself a little bit more than the average person would, in a sense, is be patient and stay calm with other people. Okay, not everybody's the same. Everybody has different behaviors. Everybody receives information differently. Everybody has different opinions, concepts, mindsets, And that's the beauty of life, like we talked about. We're all different, right? Let's be nice and be polite and stay calm when people tell you things that they might not mean out of negativity and harm. Maybe it's just ignorance because they don't know better. So be patient, be nice, be kind, be kind. Yeah, and even if you feel like someone is making fun of you or whatever the case, there's always ways to turn around the situation. There's always ways to turn that situation from a negative to a positive, you know, and always making it a point to keep true to who you are. In other words, if a stranger makes fun of me or makes fun of how I walk or whatever, I'm not going to be mean and say something rude or whatnot. One, because I like, it's going to sound weird, okay? I like when people ask questions. I like when I get comments like that because it's an opportunity to educate. You know, here I'm teased all the time, and to me it's a normal thing. I know that there's no harm behind it. It's just fun, and you know, it's a normal thing, you know, and I appreciate that because I feel a sense of normalcy, to be honest, when that happens. So really, it's all about how you perceive and receive the information, you know, and know that not everyone is out to get us. Not everyone is, you know, they're telling you these things to be mean or rude or whatnot. It is what it is. You know, have that kind of it is what it is mindset. Take it, process it, respond accordingly in the nicest way possible, and keep it moving. Don't dwell on it. Keep it moving. Or call us here at New Season and we'll let you borrow Sister Mina's keychain that says be nice. So anytime that somebody comes around, you'll be like, you know, just show them the keychain. Be nice. I love that keychain. I think I look at it more than Sister Mina does. Be nice, Jesse. Be nice. So be polite, guys, and stay calm. Everybody's different, and it's okay to receive the comments in a positive way and respond better in a more educational way. Again, for me, I love when the kids come up and ask me questions. I love when they're curious. I remember just a couple months ago, I think one of the boys that comes to New Season, he had not seen me in a while, and he says to me, is your leg doing better, Miss Jessie? I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I'm like, yes, baby, my leg's doing better. Because it's the innocence behind what he said. It was like, oh my gosh, you know, so that makes me happy. That warms my heart. Silly, I know, but I love it. So ask questions. Ask all the questions in the world. And don't stay offensive. You know, in that same boat, don't stay offensive. It's not about you. It's not about you, boo. It's not about me. You know, they're not out to get us. It's just questions. It's just questions. And I say this because I was that person. I was that person that would be offensive. I was that person that wouldn't smile. I was that person that would look you straight in the face like, don't talk to me. Leave me alone. Not because I was mad or anything, but because I had my wall up. I had my defensive mechanism up where, you know, don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask, don't tell. And that was not healthy. Not healthy. Don't do that. Red X, no. We have to be nice. We have to be nice. And being nice is a work in progress. Okay, I'm still working on it. Probably shouldn't say that, but I'm still working on it. Still working on it. So being nice is a work in progress, guys. It's not overnight. It's not overnight. Definitely not overnight. And don't let yourself grieve and go through all of the stages of grieving. There are stages to the grieving. Don't let yourself go through all of that about your disability. So let yourself grieve, and actually go, if I said it incorrectly, I apologize. Let yourself grieve and go through all 5 stages of grief about your disability. I have experienced grief very recently. You know, it's not something that goes away. It's therefore it's something that I'm still going through, that so many of us are still going through. And it's the same way when you're grieving a disability. There's different stages, right? You have your happy moments, your joyous moments, you're angry at times, you're sad, you know, you are defensive in a sense. There's just different moments, you know, different stages of grieving that disability. I can be happy about it, like, okay, no problem, I got in front of the line, or I have a handicap parking sticker so I can go faster, to, oh man, I wish I didn't have to do this and I could just stand in line like everybody else. Like, if I let myself, I can fall into that. But no, that takes too much energy. I have a family members that come to Orlando every year. Pre-pandemic, it was every year. And they would call me, "Hey, Jess, we're going to Orlando." And my uncle always teases me. He's like, "Yes, you're coming to Orlando with us, and we're going to use the handicap sticker, and we're going to get in front of the line for all the rides." Hey, so be it. They get to have fun on the crazy rides. I get to go to Orlando and see them, and everybody's happy. So, I take it lightly. It is what it is. It is what it is. So let yourself grieve and go through all the steps of grieving about your disability. Do your best not to take out your grief on the people in your life who are genuinely trying to help you. That's another thing that's a daily often struggle for me. There's people that are genuinely trying to help me, but maybe they're not helping me how I would want them to help me. Literally. And so it gets a little uncomfortable. It's like, yes, you're doing this and this and this, but you're not doing this. So as an individual, as a person, as a daughter, as a granddaughter, as a friend, I have to focus on what they are doing for me, on what they can do for me versus on what I'm expecting them to do for me that they're not doing. We hear often expectations leads to disappointment, right? So that's why, going back to one of the other points, I have to do what I can, and people with disabilities have to do what we can, everybody, to get the help that we need from people that can help us and not expect it from those that can't. We might have family members, very close family members, and we think, okay, well, if I want this and this and this, why don't they? Because we're all different. And we can't expect everybody to have the same priorities. We can't have everybody having the same taste and decoration or, the same energy even. Not everybody's crazy like me when it comes to energy. So we have to be mindful of that. What are we asking for and who are we asking? And are we asking the right people? And to that point, if you feel at any point that the people around you are not being supportive in that sense, then find outside help. Volunteers, agencies, neighbors, anybody, and just kind of shop around and see who's willing to help you with those different things in accordance to what you are able to do financially, physically, and otherwise. So make it a point to not stay in that mindset of I can't do this or I can't do that or, nobody will help me. I've been there. It's not healthy. It's not a good place to be. Thank God you are in a much better place. Yes, thank God I am in a much better place. Thank God. And I noticed it when you, I'm giggling now, but the power of Facebook and videos and the trick of these thing we call social media, I can go back videos doing Yes with Yesse where I'm like, OMG. And I'll tell the church fam, I'm like, how'd y'all let me look like that? Because I was going through things that I wouldn't share. Nobody knew about, I was in my little world, in my zone. And so I thank God every day when I see those videos that I'm no longer there emotionally. I love my Yes with Yesse, but I'm no longer there emotionally. And health-wise, I wasn't doing pretty good and I had no idea. So I'm so happy not to be there and to be where I am now. And so again, let yourself grieve and go through all those stages that you need to go through to get, to feel better and just to be in a better place. Do your best not to take out your grief on other people in your life who are there genuinely trying to help you or not, as we spoke. If you feel they're not, find others around you, neighbors, etc., that can help you. Let yourself grieve and go through all 5 stages of the grief about your disability. In the literal sense. So seek support, seek counseling. Come on over to New Season. There's counseling for you. Go to church. You have to have a spiritual life. We have to have something to go to. We have to believe in God. Pray. Prayer changes things. I'm a big believer that it's, we are the church, yes. But I believe that it's a combination of different things. It's the support, it's the people, it's the community, it's having somewhere to go, somewhere to belong. It's about community. It's about your faith in God, reading the Bible, reading the Word of God. It's about all of those things. So do what we can to find a church family that will allow you to do all those things and show support. If you have all those things and you feel you don't have support, then, you have to see what's the priority. What is it that'll make you feel better? But I assure you that by yourself alone, you won't be able to do it. Nobody can do life alone. I've always been that believer. Nobody can do life alone. You need community. You need community. Let yourself grieve and go through all the stages of the grieving process. Do it. Seek real support. Learn to judge who's genuinely supportive and who's not. And who's more kind of acting like they're helping you, but not really. And accept your disability. All of those things, at the end of the day, all of those things lead to accepting your disability. I can't believe to this day that I was missed. Yeah, I accept my disability. My name's Yesse. I have spina bifida. I was walking around like, yeah, I accept it. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And I had no idea. Because I was still dealing with those, I guess maybe sentiments, anger issues, or feeling of inadequacy, feeling less than, feeling like I couldn't do certain things. And so I was still angry. I was going through all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, you haven't accepted it. So I had to come to terms. I had to face those things that I was not accepting, that I had no idea I wasn't accepting, in order to be able to accept the fact that I have a disability that is not going anywhere. It ain't going nowhere. The reason it's not going anywhere because it's a part of my mission. It's a part of my purpose in life. Without it, I don't have a mission. I don't have a purpose. I got a call today. I was in the office getting ready for tonight, and I got a call from one of my students, and he says, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. But he said to me, hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. I just wanted to say hi. And he's one that I always tease, and we're laughing, back and forth. But the fact that he literally was like, oh, no, I just called to say hi. I just wanted to say hi, Mom. He calls me Mom. That's sweet. That's purpose. That's purpose. Last night, I got the opportunity to celebrate one of my girls' birthdays. That's purpose. That they remember you, that they want you to be a part of their life, of their milestones. That's my purpose. And I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. And yesterday was a weird emotional day, and that pulled me out of what I was going through and my boredom and all these different things. And I had the opportunity to, realize that I was left on this planet for a purpose, and that they are a part of my purpose. And if I'm not here, then who's going to be driving them crazy and giving them services and all that stuff, right? So realize your purpose. Realize your purpose. Come to terms with who you are, with whose you are, with your talents, your skills, your abilities, your hardships. Seek help. Seek the help that you need. Make it okay to ask for help. Make it okay to ask for help. Make it okay not to be okay. More than anything, make it okay not to be okay. And that has to do and with coming to terms with the things that perhaps won't change, or coming to terms with the things that you will not be able to do. I can't run. I act like I can, but I can't. I can't run. So I have to come to terms like, you're not going to run. You're not going to run in a park. You're not going to play soccer. You're not going to, well, kind of. You're not going to play baseball, the running part. So you have to come to terms with things that you're not going to be able to do physically and otherwise, to be okay with whatever it is that you got going on. And know that it's still okay to enjoy life, even with those things that you can't do. Okay. If your disability can be changed with physical therapy and treatment, go for it. Meaning, can your disability improve? Not can it change, but can it improve? Can you get better? I know I got to get back to physical therapy. There was a lot going on, and I kind of dropped the ball on there, but I got to do the physical therapy. So don't let go of the things that we can do, dwelling on the things that we cannot do. And that goes for every single person in the whole wide world. Don't dwell on the things that you cannot do and let go of the things that you can do. Don't dwell on the people that are not in your corner and forget of the people that are in your corner. And I appreciate every single one of you for joining me tonight. I hope that we got some nuggets from there. Thank you. It's Thursday, guys, and tomorrow is Fun Friday. Or like I like to call it, Fun Friday. Fun Friday. So make sure you guys come on back tomorrow morning for In His Presence at 6:30 a.m. And then Fun Friday is always a great time. And then for midday prayer with Sister Yesse, midday prayer changes things, and it's never enough, right? You can never get enough of the prayer. And so thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being with me on another episode of Yes with Yesse. And just a friendly reminder that we are listener supported. We are a listener supported station. And of course, we appreciate every single one of you that tunes in day after day, evening after evening, morning after morning. Yes, prayers moves mountains. La oración mueve montañas. My mom always says that, actually. So we appreciate you guys. And we want to just let you know that we appreciate you. And thank you so much for your support. Continue supporting. The ways to give are rolling down on your screen. And if you are listening to us on 89.1 on the airway, in the car, at home, here are ways that you can give to support your number one gospel station, New Season Gospel FM. We're listening to New Season Gospel FM. We are listener-supported radio. If you are blessed by this broadcast, would you prayerfully consider partnering with us? Zelle is 954-536-1821, Cash App, New Season WC, or visit our website, newseasonfm.com. Our address is 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida, 33351. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you for giving to the Lord. I have a life that was changed.
That's the way to give, guys. So you already know your support is greatly appreciated. Have an amazing evening, everyone, for that has joined me tonight. Thank you so much. And just to leave you guys with an amazing sound, I'm gonna leave you with Be Alright, and just know everything is gonna be alright no matter what your circumstances are. Thank you, and I will see you again next week on another episode of Yes with Yesse.
It's just as important to take time.
Another episode next week, 6 p.m. right after Caribbean News.
Every fear, there's a love that embraces the heartache, the pain, and the tears. Through my faith and my doubting, I know one thing for sure. His word is unfailing, His promise secure. Todo va a estar bien, everything will be alright. Whole world's in His hands. Your whole world's in His hands. In the darkness, in the trials, He's faithful and He is true. The whole world's in His hands. Y todo va a estar bien. Oh, oh, oh. Everything will be alright. Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah. Father, you say everything's gonna be alright, but my circumstances say I won't last through the night. I need your word to hold me now, need you to pull me through. I need a miracle, a breakthrough, I need you. They say you hold the whole universe in your hand, but my world's falling apart like it is made of sand. Am I small enough to slip through the cracks? Can you take my broken pieces and put them back? Give me faith, you believe you are on my side. Open my eyes to see you working in my life. Let the past remind me you never fail, and tell my soul it is well. Oh, y todo va a estar bien. Everything will be alright. The whole world's in His hands. Your whole world his hands. In the darkness, in the trials, he's faithful and he's true. Your whole world's in his hands. Y todo va a estar bien. Everything, oh, oh, everything will be alright. Oh, 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 hey. Todo va a estar bien. Oh, 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 and I know everything will be alright. Oh, 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 yeah.
Padre, te confieso a corazón abierto que todo es muy incierto en este desierto. Mi vulnerabilidad está al descubierto. Siento que mi barca está muy lejos de su puerto. ¿Por qué será que ya no sale el sol en mis días? ¿Por qué mis noches son tan frías? ¿Por qué será que siento que me falta algo? ¿Por qué este camino gris se siente tan largo? Sé que estás sobrando aunque no te sienta. Sé que estás sobrando aunque no te vea. Sé que voy a salir de esta odisea. Sé que voy a ganar esta pelea. Sé que va a cesar esta marea temporaria. Que en ti yo viviré una vida extraordinaria. Y aunque no puedo entender, me consuela saber que
todo, yo sé que todo va a estar bien.
Todo va a estar bien.
Everything will be alright.
The whole world's in his hands. Your whole world's in his hands. In the darkness, in the trials, he's faithful and he's true. Your whole world's in his hands. Y todo va a estar bien. Oh, oh, oh. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Oh, yeah, yeah. Todo va a estar bien. Todo va a estar bien. Oh, oh, oh.
Everything will be alright.
Oh, oh, oh. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands.